So the next one in our agenda is the package 2, development of educational material, and Vicky is going to start presenting with the country research and 2.1 and 2.2 development of traditional educational materials. So
yes, thank you. So to give you an overview, do I need the mic? Because I'm close to the speaker. So we are going to give you an overview of the whole work package 2, dedicated to the educational material, and focusing on the first task, mainly now that we have the survey, the research. And the last task is going to be presented by the University of Crete, that is the development of the innovative material. Yes. Yes. So the overall aims of this work package is first to co-create a comprehensive, learner-friendly traditional educational material, the so-called TEM, addressed to students from 9 to 13 years old, more or less, integrating up-to-date facts and knowledge related to climate change, and of course in line with education for sustainable development and inclusion education. Second aim is to support the educators, formal and non-formal, in their related work when it comes to climate change, climate crisis. And third, to employ advanced digital ICT technologies, including the augmented reality, in order to transform a traditional educational resource into a more interactive, attractive, innovative educational tool. These are the aims as were submitted in the proposal. So from these objectives, we extract these expected results from the work package. So we need to come up with an inventory of existing educational resources on climate change and climate change education. And we need to co-produce this traditional educational material, the TEM, on climate change, not only in English, but in all partners' languages, in PDF mainly, but we will also produce a limited number of hard copies. And third expected result is, of course, the interactive material, the IM, reflecting the TEM resource, its content, and incorporating these innovative applications. So we will go task by task now. What this work package includes. Mio is leading the work package together with the University of Crete. First task that we have is to do a country research, a survey, in order to identify, specify what are the important issues related to climate change education, and also to find out the existing relevant educational materials. We will come later to that. We have a dedicated presentation for this task. This country research, its results will feed in, we are going to give important input in the methodology and in the content actually that the educational material that will be produced will have. Yes. Second task is the development of the material as such in English with the feedback from all partners. What we have included in the proposal is that this traditional material will elaborate for, let's say, key chapters, thematic areas that we are going to discuss later on, and including 4 to 5 learning activities each. So it is expected that the partners will contribute with a learning activity, a country case study, and some country fact sheets related to the topics identified. So upon the completion, the final version is going to be elaborated in English, as we said. Mio is leading this task. And then it will be translated to French, Italian, and Greek by the partners. We will also remember the Gantt chart, the timetable of the tasks. And last one, the task 2.4, University of Crete is leading it and will present it later on, is the transformation of this traditional educational resource into an innovative one. So this is a timetable for this specific work package. It's the second one in blue. We saw it in the previous session as well. So we have started already. We're supposed to start end of November, let's say. And we start with the survey, the country research. That it is taking place for the 3 first months until end of January. We need to have the results and the report of this research ready by then. So more or less in January, the development of the content of the 10 needs to start. Up to May, where it means we have to finalize the educational resource in English. We have 3 months for the translation. And more or less by then, May, June, University of Crete will have in their hands the content in order to produce, let's say, the new innovative educational resource. So, if I may, I can continue presenting our first task, and then we will discuss about the contents of the material. The first task is the survey, the country-based survey. Is it shared? You see it? Okay. So what are the aims of this country research? The aims is on one hand to create the inventory of the existing learning resources of climate change education from the partners countries and maybe beyond, because as MEDIS we are going to share the survey link with some more European countries, and also to obtain the meaningful feedback that we need in order to develop the content of the material in terms of thematic areas, in terms of methodologies preferred by the teachers themselves, in terms of the teachers' needs and preferences when they work on climate change education and in ESD in general. And also, the results of the survey are going to provide an overview of the state of the art regarding learning resources and education for climate change in the partners countries. So, a few things about the questionnaire that we have shared with you some days ago, the draft questionnaire. When we were developing it, we were thinking that we need to make it simple, user-friendly, not demanding lots of time to be completed, easy to disseminate it to your audiences, to your list of teachers, list of schools, to your non-formal education stakeholders, and also to be easily uploaded online. We are going to use a Google form, but it is also automatically translated. And for its development, we were based on a previous similar surveys that we have developed in similar European projects, educational ones, some also reflecting recent teachers' needs, challenges, preferences, etc. So who is going to complete this questionnaire? Where we need to disseminate it? These are our target groups, mainly primary school teachers, but not only. Middle school teachers. Middle school in Greece is from 13 years old up to 15 years old is the lower secondary, and the upper secondary is a high school, high schools, so high school teachers, also heads of schools, support teaching staff, tertiary education staff working particularly in education for sustainable development, in climate change education, etc. And to our list of non-formal educators, educators and trainers working in NGOs, in museums, in parks, in Natura sites, biosphere reserves, so on and so forth. These this is the target group to complete the questionnaire. And the questionnaire, let's go to the questionnaire now to see it once more all together. This is okay. Our I'm not sure if it is served and can be checked later. Just to be sure that so let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is what we have shared with you. Some key personal info for the ones who completed. Gender and country and job title. And a few words about the professional experience, particularly in ESD or climate change education. So first key question is we ask them to identify the thematic areas that we need to include in our new learning material on climate change. So we invite them select all that apply. What is climate change, the greenhouse phenomenon, distinction between climate and weather, tracing climate change in our everyday lives. Second, what are the causes of climate change, emissions per sector, models of production, consumption, etc. Third, thematic area, what are the impacts of climate change? Here you can see a list, but it is also reflected in the context, that we will see later on. And fourth, thematic area, what we can do about climate change, adaptation, mitigation strategies, so on and so forth. And of course, we give them the choice to add other topics that are not there and they consider as important to be developed. Next question is about the way in which climate change is addressed in their educational systems. We need to have such an information. It's quite important for this project. So select again all that apply, and not address at all. These topics are embedded in various subjects, or they are usually applied as a single project, so on and so forth. Next question is about the approaches, the methodologies that the teachers consider they work best in engaging the students to apply and to deal with climate change topics. So we invite them to select up to 7 because here we have listed a lot of methodologies that we have seen in previous surveys and in the bibliography as well that seem to be in the front when it comes to ESD and climate change education. You can add, you can comment, of course, later on. I'm just giving you the overview. The next question is about the educator's experience. We need to extract information from their experience when it comes to the important features of an effective learning material in their own point of view. What are the characteristics, the qualities that an effective learning material needs to have? For example, select up to 5, for example, to establish the connection between climate change and everyday life, to enhance responsibility and self-efficacy, to be in line with the curricula, to include a variety of engaging activities, to integrate local community, local society dimension, to include storytelling, to combine and have a balance between the hands-on approaches and the ICTs, to provide clear, accurate, comprehensive knowledge about climate change in an attractive way, be student in a student-friendly language, and so on and so forth, as you will see. And again, they can add an approach, a feature that is not listed here. And the last questions are open-ended questions. So 9 is in the 9th, actually, 9th fits in the inventory that we want to create. So we invite them to list here the best practice educational resource that they have come up with climate change. Either it was a training material or student material. So we ask them to add titles and provide the web link necessary. Next question is about, according again to their experience, what they consider are the gaps in the available learning resources so far when it comes to climate change. Another question that is quite important is to give us feedback about students' misconceptions and misunderstandings related to climate change, if they have worked on the topic. And particularly, next and last question addressed to school teachers is to give us some small short information regarding climate change education project that they have applied on the class or in the school, as all schools. So we invite them, we ask them to describe it very briefly, including the goal, target group, and its duration. So this is more or less the questionnaire that we have drafted in order to disseminate it for our survey, for the purposes of our survey. So we may start the discussion on the questionnaire, if you wish.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vicky. And I'll start the discussion. I only wanted to say that this questionnaire is a rather long one and will require, particularly for the open questions, some time for be completed. Also, it is not very clear how they if they decide on priority of the replies. We have said in one area we have seven out of. We can also ask them to put 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the numbers, let's say, and because it is important. And they may repeat the same number if they do something. So they have 3, 0, 1.
In the machine.
Yeah. Somehow, yeah. So these are some things to think about. So before getting into the questionnaire, we need to go back a little bit on what we described before the questionnaire. Unless we want to close the questionnaire and then we come back. So on the questionnaire, do you have any, to make clear to everybody, we want to have 7 questionnaires for each category. Yeah. Is it true? We need to have several questionnaires. From
The tool is one, and it's going to be translated.
no.
For many people, it should be
For
one.
many people
yes, yes,
from each country and from all categories. So,
yes, all these audiences.
so by when we do that? Because if this is by the end of January, this is not possible. So we need to
We
see
We need
how we
discuss
can
this.
have this, you know, realistically feel, because there is no way. We are practically in January now. We are in front of Christmas, and till the 7th, 10th of January, no poor person is going to get to answer this. So we need to see if this questionnaire can be back by the end of February. We cannot have it, yeah, but sorry. Then we have to reduce the questionnaire. It cannot be done
We
in,
need to put end of January. We cannot give now extension. If we cannot start with extension, we need to disseminate the.
See what we get,
Yeah, see what we get. With the January. If we let so much time, because we also
Later,
true.
later, towards the end, we usually change the last week. Yeah. Well, anyway, the time. I don't know.
Yeah. But perhaps maybe the inventory can already start from the partners. Like if we already identify this material, then certainly it would be complementary to the work we have. No, but it's not.
sorry, who is going to monitor us by when we get the answer? I'm not talking about I'm talking about why we need it so urgently, apart from one thing, the material that they have, the partners, in their hands, and eventually the literature they want to send us. Why do we need all the rest?
It's very important that, and this it should go hand in hand with the.
By when we have to send the deliverable? The deliverable.
Which is
The report is surveying and then.
Okay, I mean, I am afraid either you reduce the questionnaire. Well, look, for example, here in this, we have already for Greece and Cyprus some of the answers, but not all this. So the same is, what I need is make sure that I have at least the skeleton of the answer. It is very, very detailed. The questionnaire is very nice, but it is questionable if it will be answered.
it's
Only inside, only from the people who are.
The open questions are two, right? The rest of them are three. In more than 10, 15 minutes. If everybody sends it mid-December, let's say, first day,
December.
and then the second day is January, before everybody starts to come back. Middle of January, we will have a list of three. So then it's 2 weeks for the report.
Okay,
our this questionnaire for teachers, equivalent to make our own each person our own list of materials that people already know, link, maybe
We can do the two in parallel. This questionnaire for teacher, for identifies their needs and in which they will use these activities, and make our the first list of activities. We already know eventually if there is some copyright, because for some activities, if we want to share it, we need to ask for copyright, etc. So we could start for each partner to make our list and use the open question at the end for complete this list at the end of January.
Okay, I mean, each partner could work as we think is more appropriate. But we need to make sure we are going to deliver by the end of January.
It's close earlier to compile the reports. So
Okay.
till 20, so that we are able to have 10 days to compile the reports for the delivery. And the later.
How many picture respondents?
I think we do not have to put any indicators in this. Am I right?
Cleverly.
So, as much as better.
Well, I mean, you mentioned very many different categories.
I can,
Okay, so at least we have one per category from each country. Yes, well, I have to warn you. That it is, in my experience, it is very difficult to get the answers on time. So we may improvise. We need to perhaps to have one-to-one approaches to teachers we know online, put questions to them and make tick and leave the open questions are optional and ask them perhaps to say something and make a note. Otherwise, through the regular correspondence, I'm not talking about post, but whatever correspondence, I guess that we have only very few replies. To be a success, I mean, to have enough for a reasonably good regional survey, you need to have minimum one per country per category. This means more than 50. 200, these are 200 replies for the survey. If I'm someone who judges, I don't accept that this is a good survey with less than 500, because 500 means 10 per, per country.
Already in the schools, we have 20 to 30 colleagues in each school. If you ask all the colleagues to
Yeah. Okay, if we have from one school or from one source, ideally, you have it from different sources, not on or from one school, because I can write them and sign it myself with different names. This is not a way out. So this is very important to have sound with proofs, with names in different schools from where you get the information. So believe me, this is something that will guarantee the quality of the deliverables. And this is a good example that we are starting with an unreasonable time scale for that. So,
Question.
Yes, we can hear you.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah. I've got a question because as far as I understand, we have to submit this questionnaire in January, including as many teachers as possible in our school.
Yes.
Okay, is that a maximum or not? Or because we have, since we are quite a big, school, so is that a maximum of people, of questionnaires that we, or a minimum of questions?
Is around 10.
Around 10, okay.
A minimum is around
A
10.
minimum of 10, a minimum of 10, but not a maximum. There isn't.
With everybody. The maximum is
The maximum is a lot. It's just involving all the teachers. Okay,
important.
okay, that's clear. Thanks.
Thank you.
What is the tertiary education standard, student teaching?
This is university.
In quantitative surveys, we can have results more or less about 120, no more. In the bad, let's say, paradigm, it is to have less. We can have reliability and validity results even when we have up to 14. I'm talking from statistical.
The statistical point of view is
No parametrics analysis give us strong results. Depending.
Don't have indicators, we're fine. There's no number. Yeah.
I'm very sure about what I'm saying.
What we have there with TICS is not a qualitative one. We are asking about, there are qualitative ones in few, it's a mix. So we should aim at the maximum. And it can be done from the moment we have around so many schools and people. We'll try to reach the maximum. We don't let's say make things comfortable for everybody.
And
We don't make things.
And we can make stronger our survey if we are going to discuss with few experts,
This is the
to add the opinion of experts as
we can have a target. We can have a target.
I think we can work very easy and go to the next step. We have quantitative and qualitative criteria that we can accept the results of this survey.
Okay. So.
But if to reduce, you think that we will save some time, we can discuss what reduce the questions.
My warning is to all of us to understand that this is a difficult task under time pressure in a period where everybody relaxes and postpones commitments. So this is something for which I wanted to make a case. Well, the idea of Vasily is to have an additional target group, expert group, for few experts.
Three persons.
Not three. I mean, we have a regional program. Remember that this is not a national program. There is an indication that at least all countries participate equally. So if you have experts, you have experts from each country, 1 or 2, maximum 3 for this expert group. So we may have identified from the beginning that, for example, ask some experts who consider, for example, Arabella, who put this, and another person from Cyprus, 2 from Greece, 2 from France, and this you can look at the different group where you don't count numbers, you count views as an additional input on the same question. And then you have also whatever you can collect. This is something. So these are two formats of question that we need to have as.
But if the main aim of the survey of the ESC is trivial, to collect all. I think that it's all of the questions are interesting, but three, it's to collect the resources that they are there. So I'm not like prioritize the topic, see what gaps they exist so that we can include them in the content. But for example, for the resources, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of repetition afterwards. How many available good resources are about climate change education in Greece? For educational material. Good quality that we can use.
To continue what I said, what is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is first to make sure that we don't leave out something important. The second is to give, because the material we are going to produce, the first part, the tech, the traditional, is a knowledge-based material, the first and important part. This is why we are asking for a lot of also relevant science, the science-based part. We don't expect so much for this material on the way in which this material is going to be presented, used in the schools, because this is a second part, is not part of what we are going, the content. We are going to go back to the content in a while. So most of the questions there are questions about the how. And this is why I say that, in my point of view, is not urgent. Because, but and this is because if you put so many questions about the how, what the what, is something that you are going to use in 6 months or 8 months. So why you need to weaken the replies at this moment? We need to have focus on the content, and the content is not so much the methodology of teaching. It is important, but it's not so much at this moment that necessary.
We have the question, I think, about the misunderstood. So that
Misunderstanding is something important. We need a good thing, Vasily said. The misunderstanding. No, I think that when you make a selection, the misunderstanding.
So not open the one. Yeah.
Yes, the misunderstanding is very important because teachers know, let's say, a number of misunderstandings, and because of that, in the analysis, in the content, we need to put special emphasis to clarify some of these things. But if you get into some other questions, they are very much open.
Maybe we can change some question and change a little order. For example, I think we could delete the question 4 because it will be difficult to analyze and a little it will take time to analyze, and I'm not sure it is very useful. And maybe we could put in for the 6th one, in which way climate change are addressed within the national curriculum. and place then the 9.1, which best practice or list your practices educational resource. Like that, we have a list, and then we have all the questions. Yes, in first, and then we have the question, in your opinion, which are first best works, which thematics should be included, maybe in six. And I think it's only some small changes like that. It's not all.
Can you repeat?
Or-
Okay.
No, I will propose the following. Tonight, think about, and tomorrow morning, have a small group and revise this. The scope will be to reduce questions that are not crucial out, and put the necessary open questions, like the ones that have been already identified here, with very first and in a window. We need first and utmost the material. This is the main thing we want.
We can easily do that when there are chapters in service. So you know, the first chapter is about resources,
And the necessary.
the second is about teaching climate.
Yeah,
So
And
then
some are
you can
potential.
you know, when the receiver receives an open question upfront, usually
Yeah.
so it's easy, we leave them with the closed, easy ones. I mean, Peter, this grade, I like this, that, and that. And then give them the option to ask something, because otherwise, if we start with an open question,
The only open question I think important, the only is give us material you have used or good material from literature, what you think important. This is for us of very high importance to have it in order to start writing. Of course.
material from the experts here,
So maybe we can work on it before dinner.
Yes.
After.
Sure.
Yeah, but we need to position to stress here that the question say is twofold. It's not only the material, the way we get described with the proposal. It's also to identify the needs.
The gaps.
The gap, we need to include the material. So material is one. The needs and gaps are the other.
We can divide the service.
So it is both important. The deliverable is the issue. But the purpose of the questionnaire is also to have an indication of needs and gaps from the partners and the groups.
By the way, this alone, this work alone is enough for a scientific report. The result of this survey, and it requires, always keep in mind that one of the quality of the program is also the publications you have. It is not a research proposal. It is not this is not the purpose of this Erasmus. It is not a research, but it is good always to have as side products also some publications. So this is something which we, and this, yes, we need to move.
Because it's already said.
Okay, we move to the next. We expect now to hear the presentation of our friends from Greece. Oh, yeah, I will do my best to be brief. But as always, I have prepared many slides because it's difficult to predict different needs. And the content we discuss later, the content of which was we have the content. Thursday. Of the tradition. I had in mind to discuss this today, but we'll see.
Then,
Go. So we are different people, so I had to prepare many slides, and it's very difficult for me to predict your needs. So you allowed me to run through the slides, so I needed a more interactive tool. Okay, as introduction for what we have to do. So it's difficult for me to decide if I have to start from the theory or from the practice. So I will try to mix. No. Here. So this is our mission, because we need to combine content and activities, and our focus must be on activities. So we need your expertise, your experiences, in order to rebuild or to build the educational material. I will go. Yeah, sorry. Oh, here. So I think that is the right now. Yeah, with the rent. So to employ advanced digital IC techniques is what targets to, including augmented reality, in transforming the traditional educational material into an innovative, interactive, attractive, and mobilizing educational tool. The first stage is to rebuild educational material to become innovative and attractive. And the second part, and we talk tomorrow about that, to upgrade this material in a virtual reality or augmented reality applications. Now, this is our mission. So I try to explain our methodology, our approaches, because it is important to have a common sense about the e-learning transformation of the material. Have to go back. Don't know if you have any ready product. Yes. Yes. Understand a little bit, the format. Yes. We will give you examples today, but you will work on templates. We will give you specific details with directions and guidelines in order to build or create the e-learning form of your material. But let me, before get across the guidelines, let me to present you some key points of our methodology. We need e-learning not to reproduce the traditional material in a digital form, but to build content, a new content, in order to motivate students, to encourage interaction, to facilitate deep processing and promote meaningful learning. And how we try to achieve this object. We work on the ground of three principles. The first is the learning theories that guide us and give us implications for how to design effective e-learning environments. Second, we use a framework for open and distance learning, material design implementation. And third, this is our job, to connect all this, to fix different information in interface that is motivate students. It is crucial for your work, for your job, to understand what these two guidelines represent. All right. I don't like to speak about theories, but we need our e-learning material to be well constructed, following behavioristic learning theories, well organized with specific focus and outcomes, objects and outcomes, provided students with feedback, included assessment, different forms of assessment. We have some examples of our work. Here we have objects and outcomes in this way. This is the interface we will use to rebuild the material, H5P. And it's difficult to read, eh? Yes. Thank you. We have knowledge, skills, attitudes, a general typology of learning objects. I think maybe.
Never mind, I mean, it's okay.
It's okay. Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
So we have a template to provide you with specific details in order in each unit to have learning outcomes and objects as a first stage of our.
I'm sorry, I would like to interrupt here because I need to understand the.
Yes.
The knowledge, okay, to understand perfectly what we can have. But then the other two, I mean, attitudes, which we have to say that they have to be responsible for the choices. Yeah, I mean, some of them are very general, what we can say. Because when we are talking about changing, let's say, behaviors or attitudes, we can describe in 3 lines what we want. We want responsible citizens, we want to adapt their consumer behavior, their choices of energy choices, but this is, you know, just so little in comparison with what in the material is the cognitive part.
Mhm.
So when you say that we have to describe,
Mhm.
I would like to understand what we have to describe.
Yes. Mm. The description of the objects guide the types of activities that is included in the material. So there is a connection between these objects and the activities that student or teacher will meet during the rest slides of the e-learning form. So here we try to outline or to prepare students or teachers about the activities that included into the e-learning package. Okay, so we use the different theoretical principles not as a different part of the education material, but as you use them as an inspiration for our activities, for different type of activities. Now, here this is we try to focus on the here is the free of navigation. This is a first level of interactivity because the students can interact with different parts of educational material. Here we use a simple avatar and that explain what the video is going to present. So we include text, videos, and navigation tools and an avatar. This is a simple assessment test with two options. Behaviouristic at the moment. So, multiple choice questions. Conclusion. And some implications grounded in a cognitive theories. We need learners not to study or do applications like assessment tests, but we want to motivate them in order to apply, analyze, synthesize, evaluate information. This is more difficult. We use some interactive tools, as for example, interactive videos. We include interactive videos into the platform, or here we can upload documents from created by students, or images, or photos. Okay. Here is video, a text. So here we ask an application from students. External links for if someone need to, if we need to give extra information to students. And in the cognitive theoretical framework, we included VR applications. But exactly with VR applications, we talk about tomorrow. So the third theory is the constructivist theoretical principles. We give the control of the navigation to students. We try to give some reflections in order each of the students create the personal meaning of the information. As an example, we have different topics used to organize our content. We connect assessment tests with data. We use maps in order to describe different pieces of the information. And of course, VR applications are at the top of the interaction between material and learning. Finally, connected theoretical frameworks, we use forums, wikis, and blogs in order to create a community between students or teachers. So, all this is our theoretical framework. We have to connect content and activities. What do we need from you? Because you have the expertise. We work with PowerPoint presentations. PowerPoint presentations will be uploaded in our authoring system, authoring tool. So from your traditional educational material, you have to choose the most important information that must be presented on the web. The original content can be added in the platform as a document, enriched with audio or video files. So we will have a multimedia content. We will try to make it interactive by organizing it in the platform, but this is not enough to characterize the content as a learning. We need activities in order to motivate students to work on the information. And how do we work on this? With assessment tests and with a feedback on the assessment test. This is the two options of what do we mean with the word educational material, e-learning educational material. So, content, activities, interactivity, and knowledge transfers. This is innovative for our option. I think that this is very important because here we will work with VR technologies, VR tools, augmented reality tools. But in order to work
with a meaning from the students. We need content included with activities, and we will try to build an environment that will be interactive for students. And on this material, we will add AR technologies, technological tools. All right. This is the guidelines for your editing. So it is what we need in our templates. Now it is in the text format, so we will give you with shapes in order to make your work easier. And we have 4 stages: the preparation with objects, a concept map, a content map, learning outcomes, and self-assessment activity like questionnaire we presented before. Yes.
In the previous also. In the previous perhaps slide. In this slide. In the traditional format, we have the learning content,
Yes.
and we have also the learning activities. And we actually, in order to test this, the impact of this, we are going to have also what you described with the learner.
Yes.
The preparation of the learner. I try to understand really. I mean, you stressed the knowledge transfer. In the traditional way, the knowledge transfer, according to constructivism or whatever, we know more or less how we expect how it works. I need to distill out of that where is the specific emphasis and contribution of the learning methodology, because the same approach is followed for the traditional teaching and traditional.
Yes.
So it will be for us helpful and also for you if we understand really where is the difference between the two.
Okay, the difference at these stages is here on interactivity. Our focus is on a construction of a learning environment that is open to all, because the e-learning educational materials will be on the web. Second, interactivity supported by a better design of information, included multimedia components. At the first stage.
It's very important for us to remember that, and then we didn't discuss that yet.
Yes.
When we prepare the traditional material, at least in our mind here, was to prepare, let's say, a book
Okay.
with the content and eventually few activities,
Exactly.
but not yet all the slides that are necessary in order to present the material.
Yes.
We can do that, of course.
Mhm.
We can do that. This is something we have to discuss if it is part of the learning of the traditional material.
Mhm.
Okay, you are asking for that.
Mhm.
You are asking also for the material, the optical and the maps and everything that
Yes.
is going,
Mhm.
which is to a certain extent expected. But on the other hand, it is a little bit limiting,
Mhm.
helping the educators to present the content, but on the other hand, is a little bit limiting them
Mhm.
not to bring in new material themselves, altogether new, because they may use the same knowledge but present it in a different way.
Mhm.
So this is the first question.
Yes.
And the second question is, when we are going to compare
Mhm.
the two,
Mhm.
be sure that we are going to, in inverted commas, compete with a vivid presentation in
Mhm.
schools,
Mhm.
with someone who may actually cover interactivity as a teacher present,
Mhm.
and something that might rely much less on the educator and much more on virtual reality and other things.
Yes.
So this is also the research question that we have at the end of the day.
Yes.
So this is just one of the things that we would like, of course, all to help to have this second material really innovative. But until now, I have not managed to grasp
Mhm.
the real innovation.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's another discussion. Yes, of course.
With the traditional educational material, I can use videos as
Yes.
well. I can use quizzes.
Yes.
So what's the additive value of this? Is it a Moodle?
No.
Is it, no,
Yes, it is. It's fine. It's not a platform like Moodle.
Yeah.
It's open content philosophy.
MOOC.
Yes, like me.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, like me.
Okay. So what's different than my case in class?
The difference is it is included all different type of information, multimedia information, in the same slide,
Yeah.
because we work with slides. We support the autonomy of students to move fast forward according to their needs, to add extra information in every slide, and finally to create forums or wikis tools in order to students to create knowledge, no, to create activities, projects, and to share among the community.
And we're talking about augmented reality or virtual reality, because I had.
Yes, we work.
Yeah.
Yes. AR, augmented reality, yes, we focus on augmented reality according to the available tools. Because the industry of technology offers new tools that makes our life easier. sometimes more difficult. Okay, but this is sure the opportunity for to apply tools with augmented reality, and it's important to make students active and the students to create augmented reality applications and alone. So this is the a concept. We are at the discussion about this concept, but the content is we need digital form with content in order to build on this. In the morning, I show you six prisms in our lab, and artificial intelligence was a second, because artificial intelligence will change the situation in the next months, I'm sure, not years. So it's difficult to discuss about tools. In any case, we need digital content and digital form of activities in order to build on this. And the innovative practices focus on an interactive or student autonomy or asynchronous learning. We have the opportunity to enrich the content with many different type of links of information, and after that work on augmented reality applications.
Okay, I mean, I apologize for putting these questions, but because
Yes.
try to understand better what we need to.
What is important?
Provide to you.
Yes,
And this is very important.
it's also important because we work together, because it is crucial to give us the correct information in order to rebuild the material as a basis for the next step. Experience has shown us that it's not enough to work only with a communication aspect of technology. Remember, WebEx, it's only communication, it's not learning. Also, it is not learning to work with on a mobile game without content. We need a mix strategy. Yes.
Hearing you saying all that, very interesting, presenting all the basic material that you will need from us. I was wondering if it is some of if we can identify a case study early enough before the traditional educational material is already fully developed. If we can identify a case, an activity, then one of the activities that are going to be submitted by the partners, perhaps we can communicate it to you before the plan timetable in order to understand if the material produced is what you need in order to present and adapt the IM, the interactive material, and also for us to understand the actual product. Do you think that this is something that we could
Yes.
do in advance? I mean,
Show us an example, an example.
Yeah, I mean, we have an example already from another Another thing, what I am now a little bit, baffled about what you said on the interactivity and the knowledge transfer. You put the emphasis on learning activities.
Yes.
But the learning activities then alone cannot cover a so complex and demanding cognitive part. And this is my question.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
Because it is very useful, the games and everything, but all that has a scientific background, which is very important to be very, very friendly and student friendly, and then. So I would like to understand, not on the games, not on the quizzes, which can be done also in different ways, on the learning content, your methodology, where you base your methodology about transforming the content itself, the main content, apart from showing videos or nice, perhaps, slides, graphics and something like that. Is there something else we can expect? Because when we are talking today about traditional material, this traditional material includes already a lot of graphics, a lot of,
Yes.
sorry for.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand your I understand, but it's difficult to give an answer because it is an open discussion in in our area. Everybody try to find a solution.
You show us.
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow we'll present you some material in a different context, but it's not. Yes. But we feel safe when we start our constructions if we have a content. This is our philosophy. There is different practices that place the communication on the top of the learning process. Other strategies that place the visual representations on the top. At the university or Quity, we begin from the content and reach that in order to reach the transfer. This is the play. It depends from the budget, in any case, from the tools, available tools. Yes. It is difficult to answer if this is something better than the traditional material or not, because we have many comparative studies, and after 30 years of educational technology in education, there is not a clear answer.
So if I can add, for tomorrow morning, when you show us the example, I would like to clear in my mind how this tool that you're going to use is different from tools like Moodle or Talent LMS. As educators, we have been using them. So what is the difference? What is the extra mile that you add? Not necessarily now, maybe you explain it tomorrow.
Oh, I can explain you. It is more friendly. Simple.
Appealing, attractive, you mean?
Simple. I noted the keyword simple and friendly.
Okay, another word.
Yeah.
Maybe you answer tomorrow my question, but there's something that I miss in what I've seen, but maybe it's inherent in your thinking. What I really miss is the challenge. What I mean, I'm a teacher and I'm really fed up with all the interactive things that we have drag and drop and clicking this button and say if you're correct or not, or change the temperature to see how something reacts. I believe that the gist of what we're doing of the education is to immerse the child into a situation, into a challenge, into a problem that the children, either alone or with his or her teacher, will solve it. And I believe that this is our challenge.
Yes, but I can give you an answer that this is challenge is not easy to be given by technology. It's given by something else. It's given by the activity. So the core is the activity, not the technology. You can make different things with the same technology and the same thing with different tools. So it depends. Maybe augmented reality tool works very well for a student, but not for the other. Depends for many reasons. So we need a base and that the inspiration, we believe that inspiration is still on the text, not on audiovisual information. This is our principle, and this is the new the innovation for us.
Okay, we'll see, because we expect too much from you.
Maybe not from technology.
And we have to stay more realistic on what you can bring in. The issue is that we need early enough both sides to understand what is realistically, what we can realistically expect from you as having us a good product, or what we are saying, and on the other hand, what you expect from us in order to deliver something good. Still, I have a big question.
Yes.
Perhaps we move to the right direction tomorrow. So I think that we may discuss the content today or tomorrow, because it is important. So this is important to have, when we are presenting this, a dialogue about what do we expect from you and what opportunities we have there. I believe that when the whole issue of transformation was started, was some 5 years ago or more. And at that time, perhaps in the traditional teaching, we were using much less of the tools we are using today. So we have covered a big part of what eventually was originally, new thing in e-learning methodology. We have introduced many of the optical and other things already in our traditional teaching.
Yes.
And this might create this gray area between the traditional and innovative. Oh, but we will find a way. We will elaborate on that. Very well. So thank you very much. We will, if some of you wish to stay for a while with to discuss the same, it will be nice. We can, we said that we meet at 8:30. 8:15 here. 8:15 here. It is already 6. And see you tomorrow also, I mean, we see you tonight, and tomorrow we start at 9.